All right, what's up, guys? Ho, ho, ho. Bitcoin is pumping. Well, not really pumping, but it's moving quite nicely. So we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, and we're going to be looking at the dollar currency index as well, because that's kind of like what I'm following right now. The weakness of USD is kind of fueling the current Bitcoin move that we are seeing. I'm going to share my screen because I actually forgot to share my screen. So while I tried to figure out how to actually share my screen, which of course I should be knowing because I've been doing this for years, hit the like button while we wait. All right, let's go. Where are we? Right here. All right, welcome guys. Hit the like button if you are new to the channel. You should probably subscribe as well. Today we're going to be looking at the dollar currency index together with the Bitcoin to see if we can get some nice confluence here with Bitcoin's move to the upside and the dollar currency index, because they are very much correlated at this stage right here. Well, not correlated, obviously, they're inverse correlated. You know what I mean? All right. How you guys doing? Hope you guys doing good. Let me know if you've taken any trades, if you're in any position on Bitcoin. I'm very curious to see if you guys have any positions currently open on Bitcoin, and let me know how the quality is, the sound quality, the mic quality, the camera quality, and everything. Let me know how that is. I've recently upgraded StreamYard to stream in 1080p. So hopefully that is fixed. Right, so let's start off by looking at the dollar currency index. Now, please remember that, tomorrow in almost exactly 24 hours and 30 minutes, we have the FOMC minutes, and that is going to be very, very important. Whatever happens in that, in the statements during the FOMC minutes, whatever happens, whatever they say is going to impact the dollar, which will, of course, impact Bitcoin. It's going to impact all markets because that's basically what everyone is looking at now. So I'm going to go through what I think will happen during the FOMC minutes. I'm going to paint up two different scenarios and how we might trade that on Bitcoin. So what we're seeing here on Bitcoin, let me not do full screen. So what we're seeing here on Bitcoin, let's go back here to the Bitcoin chart, is what happened yesterday. Was it yesterday? What day is it today? It's the 22nd. Yeah, so yesterday we broke the range lows. And you can see here that I have the fairly clean range being drawn here with the range high area at around 16. I'd say the area between 16.8 and 17K would be range high for this Bitcoin range right here, with range EQ coming in at around 16.3 and range lows at around 15.8. So what happened yesterday was we broke down, and that was at the same time as the dollar currency index was putting in a bullish break in market structure. Basically what we saw was this right here, and that breakout confirmed the bullish market structure on the dollar currency index. And remember, we're still in a local uptrend on the dollar currency index, so there's definitely some danger here for Bitcoin. So what I'm going to do in today's live stream is I'm going to go through the different scenarios on the dollar currency index and what that might look like, and how that's going to translate over into Bitcoin and how that might look like. By the way, guys, we're currently running a Black Friday deal within the RLZ Trading room. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the link in the description below and use the code Trading Room BF22. I'm also going to do within the Trading Room this week and next week. I'm going to do a series of live stream where I will work on developing a trading strategy from scratch, right? So within the Trading Room, I will show the community members of the Trading Room how I would go about if I would create a completely new trading strategy based on purely price action. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a plan and a rule-based plan for what the system will look like and what the entry triggers, the TP strategy and stop loss, etc. will be of the strategy. And then I will back test it, I will forward test it, and then we'll take a couple of trades using that. So I'm going to be focusing on maybe the 1 hour to make sure that we are able to get some data within this 2-week period. So obviously it takes much longer to create a strategy, but I'm thinking about doing like just a very quick crash course 2-week of just kind of going through how I would do it. And then obviously it would probably take a couple of months, right? But it would give you the necessary details you need to know on how to actually create a trading system. So what I like about Bitcoin right here. So what happened on the dollar currency index to begin with, when we had that local top to come down and test this level, which obviously looks like a very solid support area, right? So remember that the uptrend is still alive on the dollar currency index, which means we are definitely in the danger zone for Bitcoin to get rejected at the current level, which is that range EQ area. We are seeing that Bitcoin is now coming up and testing that very low of the range EQ area, which is, as you can see, confluent with this resistance right here as well. And it's a very high. I would say that the probability of Bitcoin moving lower is much higher than the probability of Bitcoin continuing higher. And why is that? Well, quite simple. We are in a massive downtrend right here. If you zoom out, it's quite obvious that we're in a massive downtrend. And let's just for a minute ignore FTX. I mean, of course, with the FTX situation, everything has become so much worse, right, from a fundamental perspective. But what I think will happen here for Bitcoin, we have two scenarios, right? Either we do something like this, reclaim of the 16.4 area for a move up to 16.8, 16.9, something like that. That will only happen. And this is important. That will only happen if the dollar currency index breaks this support. If the dollar currency index holds this support and moves higher, risk assets will suffer, and Bitcoin, being a risk asset, will most likely start moving lower. The question is then, will we hold this level as support? Well, you look at this breakout area and that support level at around let's say 15.850, something like that, 15.850, so $15,850 for Bitcoin. That is a solid breakout level, and I would expect to see at least some type of reaction to this level. Now, if we add a fib from this low, the low of that move up to the high of this move, you'll see that the 50% and the reload zone, the 618 as well, comes in very nicely at that breakout area. So this does look like a very good opportunity for a possible long on Bitcoin. And this is the exact same scenario that I have been covering on inside the RLZ trading room throughout the day. And yesterday I also made a video on Twitter outlining this exact scenario very detailed, right? And basically the idea is this: you want to look for longs on the retest of that level if there's a confirmed bounce, and then sell at the local high. The risk to reward, in my opinion, is not worth it, because you're basically going long in an overall downtrend. So you're trading against the trend on Bitcoin with a low risk to reward. Now, for me to even consider taking a trade that goes against the overall trend, I would need to have at least 3R minimum on average on that trade, and this is to final TP only 1.6, so quite low risk to reward on this trade right here. So what is the play on Bitcoin? Well, I do think that what I usually do is I look for a possible move on Bitcoin, and then I try to see if there's any altcoins that kind of align with that move. So I try to make sure that I scan through the altcoin list, and when Bitcoin is bouncing inside this area, I try to find altcoins which aligns with that idea but makes more sense and have better risk to reward. I also want to look at possible short scenarios on altcoins if the dollar currency index really does bounce here and breaks the local high. So imagine if the dollar currency index here breaks out or bounces and then breaks this local high. Well, that's probably when Bitcoin will break through this area to the downside. And if that happens, we want to look at altcoins that are shortable, if you will. And I have some here that, you know, we looked at a couple of shorts on these yesterday. I can't believe it's only Tuesday. It feels like forever. It feels like Monday was forever ago. All right, so now Atom, I do like this, right? I still think that the 9.5 to 9.7 area for Atom, I mean, yeah, this is Atom, is a pretty good area for a possible short. So I still have my alerts right here. I'm still waiting for the alerts to go off for a possible short on Atom. And I believe that would work out if the dollar currency index breaks above this level right here. So to answer the question, is this the bottom for Bitcoin? I would say most likely not, right? Because tomorrow we have the FOMC minutes, and 2 weeks ago, Friday, 2 weeks ago, we had the CPI print, right? And the CPI print came out, the US CPI print came out and basically showed us that inflation is potentially peaking, right? And everyone was just going crazy for, you know, thinking that the Fed will pivot, the Fed will probably say that we're not going to hike rates as much going forward, but we haven't seen any signs of that, right? Very early, they've talked about how they will be aggressively hiking rates until they have very clear signs of that the job is done. And all the commentary from the Fed speeches and speakers throughout these last 2 weeks have been very clear that they are very focused on getting the job done, right? Which basically means that we're probably going to see a lot of hawkish commentary around the FOMC minutes, which is in 24 hours, around 23 hours. So with that said, even with the if that happens, even with the dollar currency index bouncing and moving higher, I mean, or moving lower, right? So imagine if the dollar currency index moves lower and we will be trading maybe around this level when the FOMC comes along, we are most likely going to see something like this if the FOMC minutes goes as I think it will, and Bitcoin will most likely be moving and doing something like this. So we'll see that, you know, the dollar currency index breaks down and then the FOMC comes along and boom, you're probably going to see something like that, like some crazy big candles to the downside, probably something like this, but bigger, but to the downside. And what I think the Fed wants to do is that they want to kind of signal to the market that, you know, you need to calm down. It's not time to rally. It's not time to, you know, go crazy risk on. We're still very focused on hiking rates to make sure that the job is done. We don't want to stop hiking rates too early. And they've been saying that for months and months and months. So the current risk on scenario that we're seeing right now is probably going to get shut down quite quickly. Right, so Atom right here, that is a possible short if that scenario plays out. We, you know, if the dollar currency index breaks down locally, we're probably going to see Atom come up here. But we want to look at these clear downtrends on altcoins, and we want to look for possible shorts on these tomorrow evening. We have 88, which is now testing that resistance area, and I think it's too early to short, but definitely a candidate for a possible short. Cake as well. We want to look for that move up to the 3.8 level for a possible rejection around the FOMC announcement, and go short. Same with B and B. You'll see here that they all follow the same idea basically, which would be to look for a rejection, a bearish rejection at the previous support level, which should now act as strong resistance. So very, very simple and clear setups right here. We just want that confirmation, which will be tricky because if the candle that confirms the setup is caused by FOMC minutes, it will probably be a very volatile and strong candle, and big enough to make the risk to reward of the trade too low to be worth it, right? And this and we have Lena, which is basically the same thing here. So we're following a very clear scenario here for all coins. So another idea, the only open trade that we have right now in the community is NCD USD, which if we did have a spot on very nice entry right here. I mean, I do obviously wish that we had a much tighter stop loss, but this is the way I like to trade, and this is one of the reason. I think this is one of the biggest reasons why I'm profitable. It's because I'm using wide stop loss, because you don't know if entry is going to get hit perfectly, right? Or you don't know if there's going to be like a big wick down here to test the 4-hour 50 or something like that, right? And in the beginning, when I started trading, I always looked for tight stop loss, like where can I have the tightest stop loss to get the best risk to reward trade and make as much money as possible on this trade. Well, most of the time I got stopped out and then price moved up to TP. So I've just decided to use a wide stop loss, use a very wide stop loss, and do not be, don't be too greedy. By the way, guys, check out my Twitter. Probably sometime tomorrow morning, I will be together with TradingView posting a giveaway. So I'll give away one yearly subscription, one yearly premium subscription as part of their Black Friday deal. I'll give that away to one follower of mine on Twitter. All you have to do is just retweet that tweet and comment and like the tweet, and you will enter a draw where I will select one of you to win a yearly plan for TradingView Premium. And even if you have a membership on TradingView, you'll just get 1 year added to your to the time you have right now and upgraded to premium. It's a pretty good deal, so definitely keep your eyes on the Twitter. So yeah, that's the NCD USD, and you can clearly see how this idea here, I mean, this is a basically short on the dollar, and we have the dollar currency index here. So if Bitcoin would just, I mean, if the dollar currency index would just continue higher like this, obviously the NCD USD chart would just look probably like this, right? So I'm actually long NCD USD with the hope of the dollar currency index breaking this support level to the downside, which obviously, like, I have to be honest, I think it's highly unlikely that will actually happen. Which basically what I'm saying is it's highly unlikely that this trade will work out, but the trade does align nicely with the system. I did have a good long signal on the indicator and everything kind of aligned. So what I did was the same thing as I always do. If I have an enter trigger, I just enter the trade right away. Now, because I don't know if the dollar currency index will bounce here or not. All I know is I have a trade here on NCD USD. I have an enter trigger and I have to take it. Now, if you guys, I haven't found this chart yet, but if you guys are interested in on-chain analysis on Bitcoin, I would highly recommend that I know Glassnode has this chart, but I don't have my membership on Glassnode is like, I'm not going to pay which I believe is quite a high fee for the membership just to get that chart. But if you have access to Glassnode, definitely, or any other on-chain analysis site, try to see if you can find the long-term holders of Bitcoin, right? And see if they're selling or not. Because if, like, when we talk about capitulation, right? When we talk about capitulation in the Bitcoin market, in the crypto market, usually what people think about is, like, when you have a bull market, you have lots of retail entering, you have lots of new people and new traders and retail entering the markets. And most people, I believe, think that capitulation is when the people that enter in the bull market decide to exit the market and sell at a loss. But I believe that the real capitulation on Bitcoin comes when the hardcore Bitcoin maximalists, the long-term Bitcoin holders, when they sell their positions, when a lot of them start to believe that it's over, right? It's over. Bitcoin is going to be trading here for a very long time, or it's going to go way lower. When they sell, that's when we have true capitulation. When the people that have conviction long term, when they start to exit the market, that's what I believe is a true capitulation event for Bitcoin. And I don't think that has happened yet. So I need to find that chart. So we're gonna do some analysis on that in a live trading session, most likely. All right, so let's look at a couple of scenarios for Bitcoin here on the the lower time frames and the medium time frame, to see if you ignore the FOMC minutes, if you ignore all the fundamentals and everything. Let's just see if what type of price action would we want to see for strength to come in. I'm looking at a picture of somebody. That is surreal. I'm watching a picture of somebody watching my live stream. That's weird. Anyway, that is a weird feeling, man. So, what am I saying? I'm saying, so we have one scenario which kind of looks like it's almost playing out now, and that's the first sign of strength, right? But that's only on the lower to mid time frame. So this means very little, because if you go out to the daily, I mean, there's nothing. There's no strength here. There's nothing based on the daily time frame which would tell me that Bitcoin, like, there's some strength coming in on Bitcoin. If you look at the 4 hour, however, let's go down to 1 hour here. So these lines right here, this, I drew this on yesterday, and I said, if we get something like this would be a bullish break in market structure, and that would be the first sign of strength. Now, we want to see that translate over to the 4 hour as well. And what we want to see on the 4 hour is this level right here get reclaimed. And that would be a great sign of strength. That shows that, Bitcoin has put in a low time frame bullish break in market structure, bounce here, reclaim the range EQ. That is when we had the second phase of confirmation of strength, right? But then you go to the daily, and you'll see that on the daily, you kind of have to get all the way back up here for some strength to come in. Yes, I would say that a reclaim of 17K, would be very good, of course. But it's really the reclaim of the 18.5 to 19K area, which is, interesting. So it's not looking very good for Bitcoin. We need to see some really bullish bullish price action coming in here, and some really bullish momentum to come in to the market for Bitcoin to actually start looking decent on the high time frames. And I would say that you need a reclaim of the daily 50 EMA for me to even start considering. What's up, Jack? Hope you're doing good. Welcome. Let me know if you have any questions. So we need to really see a reclaim of the daily 50 EMA for this to make sense from a higher time frame perspective. And that is that's going to be that's a 15% move. What would be required for this to happen is if the Fed comes out with some dovish, comments, basically saying like they're not going to hike rates as much. If that happens tomorrow, equities will just go absolutely crazy. Stocks will rally, obviously in Bitcoin included. We will be in a full risk on scenario if that happens. And if that happens, if we see signs for that, I would just say buy Bitcoin and hold it. And if you miss that move, wait for a reclaim of the daily 50 EMA, and I would say that's the time to get in. All right, let's see. Let's see. What else do we have? What else did I want to cover today? So we got Bitcoin, we got the high time scenario and the midterm scenario for Bitcoin as well. Right. So I think I've covered most of the scenarios for Bitcoin, and I mean the short scenario. You know what? I really need to add that price line. Where do we have the price line? Let's see, scale, appearance. Where do we have the price line symbol? Price line last. There it is. Right. So can we change that one to something more better looking? I want it to be like almost black. Almost not visible. All right, I think that's good. Perfect. So obviously with the short scenario, we want to see a breakdown of this level. So it would be like a break and retest, but it's simple, right? It's very simple. This is very simple to short. Now it's going long. That's a whole nother question. And actually, you know what? I want to add the fibs of this move. We're actually, we're actually testing the 50% of that down move. When drawing the fibs from that high right there down to this low, we do have the 50% right here, and we're almost testing the 618 as well. So it might actually line up for a decent short opportunity here as well. And with the FOMC coming up, like, I don't want to short or long into news events because it's just so risky, right? We have no idea what's going to happen, but I have a fairly strong conviction that we are going to see the FOMC come out with rather dovish comments. So we'll see about that. Now, before we end the stream, I just want to go quickly through the alerts that I have gotten here this evening to see if we have anything interesting in terms of alerts. We do have a long signal on US 100. No, I would not. I don't think we're ready to take a trade on US 100. Maybe if we do get a break and retest of the weekly open, but that probably happens too close to FOMC to actually be a trade. So we have the Euro 50 break and retest of the weekly open. That looks like a good trade. Maybe tomorrow if we do have a bullish FOMC. So let's keep that one on. Nothing here. Euro USD is actually, that's a bad signal. All right, what else do we have now? The Nike here, the GP225, the Japanese index right here, looks pretty interesting actually. If we can get a pullback back down to the 50% fib around 28K to hit the 4-hour 20 EMA, that would actually be a possible long setup. Do we have that on the list? We do. Euro 50, we have that on the list as well. NCD USD. All right, so it's looking better now on NCD USD. Like I said, this is the only open trade. Now, if you're watching this and you're in the RLZ community and you have a trade open on this, I would recommend that if you get something like this, I think we should just move stops to here to really secure this position and just, well, maybe first we would just limit the losses by 50%. So if you see something like this, actually, if you just break above the weekly open and have a 4-hour close above, so let's say if this current 4-hour candle closes above here, let's just limit the losses by 50%. And then if you have a continuation of the bullish market structure like that, you can just actually move stops to entry to secure this position ahead of FOMC. And if this trade is trading, around this area, around FOMC, we'll just enter as close to break even as possible when the FOMC happens. All right, CAD CHF, nothing here. Nothing here. All right, that's it. I think I've covered most of the stuff that I'm looking at today. You know what? It's because it's because they had the Christmas hat on, the Santa hat. Let's I have my DGen scalping account open here on PrimeXBT. So what I want to do is fuck it, let's just do a scalp. All right, so which one? NCD USD? I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Let's do NCD USD. Let's do NCD USD. It kind of makes sense because we're already in the long on NCD USD. So let's do a very irresponsible trade on. Well, look at the spreads on that one. Look at the spreads. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in a 4-hour if you're swing trading, but if you're scalping, I don't think so. Let's look at Euro USD. What's the spread on Bitcoin? That's good. All right. So do we have a trade on Bitcoin? If I had to take a trade on Bitcoin, how would that look? All right, so we got Bitcoin on the 1 minute right here. Right, so if I had to take a trade on Bitcoin right now, how would that trade look? So we have the weekly open. The weekly open would be the TP of the scalp right here. All right, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. What's the 5 minute doing? 5 minute closes in. Do we have the slingshot on? Yes, we do. All right, the 5 minute. That's the daily. It's that the 4-hour. Which one is that? The 4-hour. All right. Yeah, I really shouldn't long this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. All right, that's good. This is the trade, right? This is the trade. We're gonna long it up here. So we'll go with stop loss should be 16,148. 16,148. So I'm trading Bitcoin on PrimeXBT, and if you want to, right, so it's $100 kind of makes sense. Let's just do $100. if you want to trade Bitcoin, crypto, and the forex market on the same platform, so this is the this is on Bitcoin, and in the RLZ trading room, we do trade crypto and forex. I mean, it's a great thing that you'll be able to trade at the all the different markets on one platform, because in a scenario that we have right now where uh, where risk assets like where Bitcoin is basically not showing a lot of strength, and honestly the crypto market is quite boring, right? You might want to look into the possibility of trying out different markets, and the forex market is great because when wherever you have a downtrend, there's going to be another pair which is inverse correlated to that. You're going to have an uptrend, so not all the currencies are trading in correlation with each other. You're always going to have some pairs which are ranging, some pairs which are trending, and you're always going to be able to get in on a nice trending trade. Right, so that's going to be the stop loss. Now where that's got 16172. So we'll do TP at around 16275. That would be the TP on this one. So it's around let's do 74. So we got around 3R on this trade right here. All right, let's go. Ooh, that's, god damn, it's about to fill. Put an alert on here. So we'll secure the position once it gets above that level, and then above that level right there. All right, so let's see how this goes. Probably not gonna go that well, but if I had to guess a direction right here, probably looking for that move up to the weekly open, unless the dollar currency index is going to bounce here. So interesting to see how this plays out right here. Go back down to the 1 minute. Probably going to get stopped out on this one right here. All right, let's do another live stream tomorrow, and we'll do another scalp, which let's hope that works out better. All right, guys, thanks for watching today, and let me know if you have any questions, anything you want me to cover, and have a great Tuesday, everyone. All right, take care.